Hi everyone, this is the second movie for Access Chapter 1, Pause and Practice Number 2. We left off where we just finished designing the employees table, and now I want to start putting some records in. So I'm going to go ahead and open up. I closed out, I used the little, so if you were here, I went here just to show that close it. To open it, you just double click on it, and it brings you into that data sheet view. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting in some information, 101, and then tab. So you tab between your fields, and I want you to look at this pencil. As long as this pencil is here, the record has not been written to the file. I can hit my escape key, and it'll back it out. The minute I leave the row or I click on save, that pencil is gone and that record is written to the file. If you needed to change, you'd have to edit it. You can't escape out of it or cancel it. Alright, so Bob tab, Lingle tab, Cameron Park tab, Chief Executive Officer tab, Administration tab, and then 1/1/2014 tab 15000. Don't put any commas or anything. So now watch this pencil as I tab off of the row. So the minute I leave that and go down, that pencil is gone. This record has now been written to the record. So I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to pause the movie so you don't have to sit and watch me type. So Lanita McCartney, Cameron Park, Chief Operating Officer, Administration, 1/1/2014, and there we go. Alright, so I'm going to pause, I'm going to type all these in, and then I'll start the movie up again. Okay, so I have entered the remaining records into the table. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and that is really the end of this pause and practice. But I'm going to go ahead and continue with the next pause and practice, because it's really working with tables and entering the data. In this next pause and practice, we're going to look at how to pull data in from an external source, because you saw how much fun it was to type all those records in. Well, if you already have that data somewhere, you might as well pull it in instead of having to rekey it. The more you rekey it, the more chances of errors there are. So one of the things I did want to mention too is you don't really save your database. You save the objects within your database. Students get a little confused about that too. Alright, so we want to import data. So we're going to come here to external data, and then there's an import and an export area. We're going to import from Excel. Remember when we downloaded those files? There was an Excel file that we downloaded. So I'm going to browse, and mine is in my downloads folder. So I'm going to find that, and it's the Central Sierra data file. So you have to go wherever it is, probably your downloads. Open that up. So you've located your file. Now you need to decide, are you making this a new table? Are you adding it to an existing table? So you're going to append it, or you're going to just make a link. This is more employees. So we're going to add it to our already existing employee table. So I'm going to go ahead and pick append, and then I'm going to make sure it says employees. Well, I only have one, but in the future you want to make sure you're appending it to the right table. Excuse me. So we're going to say OK, and then it's going to bring up the records that are in this Excel file and try and put them in the appropriate field in the table. So we're going to go ahead and say next. We're importing it to the table. We're going to finish it and see if I got any errors. I didn't get any errors. So I'm going to go ahead and close, and let me talk about if you did get an error. If you received an error, chances are probably 98% of the time it's because one of the fields in your employees table is typed incorrectly. So to fix it, you would go back to your employees in design view. So I right clicked on employees, I went into design, and you just want to go through this list right here. Don't worry about your caption. You can only care about this. Go through every one of these and make sure that you don't have a typo, you don't have an extra space, you don't have some error. Once you validate that, you would save it, after you fixed it, and then come through and do that process again, and you're going to be fine. So now if we look at employees, since I imported it, I should have 16 records, right? 11 new records were imported. So that's good, I can do that. So I'm right now on Bob. I'm going to use this little button to move through till I get to the 5th record, right? So I got to Tammy. So this arrow moves you to the next record, previous record. The arrowhead with the line takes you to the last. The arrowhead with the line before it takes you to the first. If you know a specific record, you can type it right here. So if I type 7, it's going to take me to record 7. Okay, click to the first one, and we're good. So now what we want to do is we want to change the order of these fields. So we want to put title to the left of branch. So we want to swap these, right? So kind of like in Excel where you're looking at your mouse, do you see when you moved over title it turns to the black down arrow? I want you to click, and you see how it's highlighted? Now click and hold a second time. So click a second time but hold it, and you get that arrow with the box. Take that black line and drag it where you want it to go, or to the left of branch, and let go. So it's now title branch. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take base salary and move it to the right of start. So let's go through that again. I clicked on base after I got the black down arrow. I click, I select it, I point to the name again, click and hold. The black line will appear. You drop the black line where you want it to go. So in that case, in front of start. Okay, so the next thing is to change the font face, and here's the thing about Excel. Once you change it for one, it changes it for all. So we're going to do Arial, and we're going to do 12 point. See how everything's changed? Okay, so pick a row, it doesn't matter. So once again, we do that black arrow, right? Not here, but a black arrow, and click. So once you get that black arrow, click, and then right click, find row height, and we're going to make that 17. Once again, it changes all of the rows, right? So the next thing we want to do is size all these. And so there's a little box right here. It's between the employee, the first field name and the record selector, right there in the corner. If you click on that, it selects all of your table. And so then all you need to do, go between any two fields and get the vertical bar with the arrows and double click. So what you did was you auto fit every column in your table. Click anywhere and it takes that selecting of all. Okay, so we're on step 11 on page 40. We're going to select the employee ID, and we want to make it centered. so that employee ID field is in the center. And then we want to change the grid lines and add alternate row colors. So we want to be on the Home tab in the text formatting group. Okay, there should be an alternate row color button. Does everybody see where I'm pointing? So we can click that, and then we're going to do blue gray, nope, that's gray, blue gray, there we go, text to darker 25. Click on that. Ooh, that's super dark. That does not look right, does it? Let me try this again. Is that blue gray? Blue gray, text to darker 25. Boy, that looks too dark. I don't like that. I'm going to switch it up. I don't like that. I'm going to do lighter 60. Even that looks a little dark for me. Okay. So then we're going to select employee 102. The slightly darker blue color. Well, mine was not slightly darker. I swear I'm reading that right. Blue, gray. Oh, that's the grid lines. Oh, Helen. All right, so let me change that back. I thought I was doing alternate. Oh, I did. No. Oh, lighter 80. That's my problem. Lighter 80. There we go. I got mixed up with the step B and step D. Okay, so the alternate color is blue gray text lighter 80. I knew that was too dark. Now the grid lines right here, let's see. Okay, sorry I was interrupted. I had changed this incorrectly, and I believe I corrected it. It's supposed to be lighter. It is the grid lines that is the darker, and so to get to that I'm going to use the dialog box. And so here's the alternate color background. What I changed here, you can also change it here. And then the grid line color is the one that I want. Dark blue gray, text to darker 25. And then we want to make sure, check. Check the horizontal, but we want the vertical checked. So select OK. Let's just review. In here we had vertical checked, horizontal is not checked. Background color is the blue-gray text lighter 80. The grid line color is blue-gray text to darker 25. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save. And the last thing we're going to do, that's it. We're done with Access Chapter 1, Pause and Practice number 1 and number 2. All right, guys, thank you.